far, we've only talked about what a battery can do for your home. But there is a bigger picture here, a much bigger picture.
You can become part of the master controlling system that is our national grid and earn a few extra quid on the side.
Meet the Manning family. They are the first family in the country to go live with an exciting new system being developed by Australian startup software company Reposit Power. And they have a particularly Australian reason for wanting a battery.
Bushfire is a problem. So, yes, if we have a bushfire, we lose our power. And with no power, no pumps, no water, we can't fight a fire.
Yeah.
So the battery was absolutely a critical addition to the house.
But this battery, with its souped-up software, is going to do a great deal more than fight the fire for them. It's designed to make money for them.
So what we've done is equip Jeff's storage system with a smart brain, and what it does is it acts in Jeff's best financial interests.
Like other systems, it shows you clearly what's being generated, consumed and stored. Though this smart software actually helps run all that cost-effectively for you.
So we can see how much they've spent today, just 47 cents.
But it's also equipped with an extra special superpower. It's hooked in to the wholesale price of the national electricity market. And every now and again, you will see this happen.
5 cents.
Wow. There you go.
You've earned 5 cents, Jeff.
Jeff's battery has been called upon to help save the grid.
On Jeff's grid dial, we can see that it's exporting hard out onto the grid. We can see that he's earning money here.
To understand what's happening, you need to know a little more about the extraordinary superstructure that is our grid. Australia has 3 major electricity grids, one in WA, one in the Northern Territory, and then the Big Daddy, our Eastern Seaboard grid, the largest interconnected power system in the world. And it's a hell of a complex job to manage it.
When I first started thinking about the grid, I assumed that all the power that got generated by, say, coal or gas got stored somewhere, and then we just used it as we needed it. But that's not how our grid works at all. In fact, there's very little electricity storage. Demand is met by literally turning up or down our power stations as we turn on or off our lights. And we have to get it exactly right on a minute-by-minute basis. Not enough power, blackout. Too much power, and our power poles would blow up. Well, of course, actually, the safety mechanisms kick in, so blackout.
And how does this vast network keep exact pace with our lights? Well, it's a complex interaction between power generators and grid operators like this one. And it all works via the National Electricity Market, or NEM.
The more electricity people use, the more expensive it can get.
The NEM is the wholesale price for electricity, and it goes up or down depending on demand. Right now, everything's in balance. But what if our energy use suddenly spikes? Well, there are only a couple of types of power plant that can respond quickly enough to prevent a blackout. The Snowy Hydro scheme and gas-fired plants. They can turn up the tap and churn out more power instantly, and they get paid a special premium for it. And this is where the Reposit software is so clever. It means if you have a battery, you can be part of that solution and get paid for it.
Imagine it's the first big heat wave of summer. Melbourne and Sydney wake up, then Brisbane, Adelaide, everyone's switching on their air conditioners. Quick, we need more power now. The price shoots up. Cue the gas-fired power stations. Cue the Snowy Hydro. Cue the Manning House. You've made $1.57. Woohoo, jackpot.
Didn't even do anything.
Of course, individuals can't bid into this wholesale market directly, but their power company, Diamond Energy, is using their battery power and has agreed to pay the Mannings accordingly. And while the Reposit software is currently out in front, other similar models will follow in time. And there's a lot more to it than fun. Battery storage can help manage one of the key ingredients of the switch to renewable power. As more renewables come into the system, that influx of intermittent power makes grid management ever more complex.
South Australia has actually had days where the entire state produces more renewable energy, more wind, than people are using. And so the only alternative is to export into Victoria. But let's imagine that that were happening for the whole of Australia or for the whole of the network. There is no place to export to other than batteries.
This is one of the reasons the South Australian government is subsidising batteries. Batteries and other forms of storage are the missing link. They can smooth out the grid, store excess power, and rapidly release power when needed. This is why batteries are predicted to change our world. This is part of the revolution that will see renewable power become 24-hour power.
So 1.4 million households in Australia have solar panels at the moment. If we add batteries to those households, they together will make up the biggest power station in our system.
That is a fundamental game changer in our industry.
We always used to be told by the people who were the experts that solar's good, wind's good, but it's not baseload power. Well, we now have baseload power with the battery revolution. It's as simple as that.
But all that's well ahead of us. This is where we are now. The first bloom of the early adopters as they sort out the glitches and show us the way to a future you now feel you can almost touch. Batteries are the thing that will eventually help bring on the ultimate transition to 24-hour renewable power.
We all know fossil fuels have got to go. And this is a way of you and your family being able to contribute to that, or your business, or your local community. And it is a way of contributing to a future that everybody will look back and say, yes, I was in there first.